I guess tonight, this morning, I'm going to be doing a quick review on the Star Wars A Solo Star Wars. I am tired. So we saw it yesterday in theaters. I was going into the movie with very little expectation because the leaks about Ron Howard having to take over production and all the insane just reshoots and everything that they had to do with the movie and all the casting problems. I don't know if it was too many problems for casting, but I know they had to retrain the actor who plays Han Solo. I forget his name. Anyways, the movie was good. It definitely surprised me. It definitely it was pretty good at displaying some things that we know and love about Han Solo from the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, and bringing that into new light and having us be able to explore his past and how he became the smuggler that he was in the beginning of A New Hope. And I feel like they did pretty good with that, growing up on his homeworld of Corellia. We can see all the syndicates of crime. They're always paying for tasks to be done, etc. Bounty, and that's kind of how he gets involved as a kid. Anyways, that's getting closer to spoilers right there. But yeah, he did good. The actor did pretty good. He didn't. A lot of people are kind of upset, that Han Solo is being replaced as far as the actor, but he did good. His looks aren't entirely like Harrison Ford's, and doesn't entirely. His voice isn't the same, but of course you can make the argument that since he's younger, he's gonna look different. That's how all people are. So then he did very good at acting. His acting was spot on. Lando did so much better. Like Donald Glover as Lando was insanely welcome for the movie. He did a very good job at talking like Lando and acting like Lando that we know. And a fun movie that would a lot of people would be how does Lando get the Administrator's Palace? Because that would actually be very entertaining to figure that part out. So he does say in the movie that he doesn't like mining colonies, and that's what Bespin is. So, yeah, he was good. The supporting cast for the movie, all the other crew members were pretty good. There were, I think, there was one that didn't really catch my attention, didn't do the acting very well. Woody Harrelson as Tobias Beckett was excellent. He's kind of like the mentor to Han Solo. Emilia Clarke and Kira was also very good. I was not expecting her to have as major of a role in the movie as she did, which was a welcome surprise. But let's see, what else can I talk about? The plot didn't contradict anything, of course, from the original trilogy, and it expanded upon it. There are a lot of reviews and people online that are getting upset that, oh, we don't need a Star Wars or a Solo because it doesn't justify its existence. I think, yeah, we're fine without it, but it's good to have it. It's kind of like Rogue One. We never asked to see exactly how they get the Death Star plans, but now that we see that, it's pretty cool that we have that. So it's the same kind of thing here. I do think Rogue One was better though as a movie. Yeah, yes, definitely. Rogue One was better. And in this movie, there's a lot of stuff mentioned that a lot of hardcore Star Wars fans would know a lot more about than the just general, your average moviegoer who just goes to watch a movie. Um, you really have to get involved in Star Wars lore and like the cartoons and stuff to make the most out of the movie. However, you will probably enjoy it if you are a pretty serious Star Wars fan. You don't need to be that hardcore, but just, you have to be more serious than the average person that's going to the movie. Yeah, the surprise cameo at the end, that was amazing, and I'll talk more about that in the spoiler portion of the movie, or the video. Let's see, what else can I talk about? The plot as a whole, it was pretty solid. The beginning was very, very rough, I'm gonna be honest. It kind of jumped around, but it had to explain the story in the given time of the movie. I wish that they had extended the movie time a little bit, so I think it was only about 2 hours, and that probably would have spaced those scenes out and made it a little bit more fluid in the overall plot of the movie, and that probably would have been a lot better for me personally. But meeting Chewie was awesome. Again, Chewie's pretty cool in this movie. The way that they meet is very entertaining, and I'll also talk about that more in the next portion of the movie, or in the video. So we're nearing the end of the spoiler-free portion of the video. So if you guys have not seen the movie and are expecting to see it, and you do not want any spoilers, I'd recommend you leave now, go see the movie, and watch the rest of the video after you do that. So, alright, let's talk first about all the weird Easter eggs and references throughout the movie. Bosk is mentioned as a potential candidate to add to the crew for the heist. That was a nod to fans. Pretty good. Major fan service there. What else? There was the Pikes on Corellia, which is where Han Solo was growing up as a younger man and kid. The Pikes, as well as, I forget the name, I don't even know if we knew the name, of a group of, or a syndicate of thugs and bounty hunters that was on Corellia. And they had this leader that kind of just dissolved in sunlight. She was pretty much a vampire. The Pikes are mentioned a lot. They actually have a pretty big part in the movie because they're sent to track down Han and the crew because they failed to deliver on their initial bounty run. And I think the Munich was the one guy's name that tried to chase him down in the speeder. We don't see how he got his dice, those golden dice that we see hanging in the Millennium Falcon, but we do see that he has them in the very, very beginning of the movie. It is not entirely explained how he got them, but it's nice to see that he's had them for a long time and they're very meaningful to him. And yeah, let's see. The Aura Singh was mentioned. She was a major part in the Clone Wars. She was the sniper lady that was pretty much bald except for the one piece of hair she had sticking out the back. Beckett actually kills her. Not on screen, of course, but it's mentioned that Beckett did a favor to them all, for them all, by doing that. Let's see. There's so much. I wish we'd seen more of the Mimban fight scene where Han was kind of ducking out of the fight and trying to stay away, trying to get a ride off the planet with Beckett and Val. And that was a pretty cool battle. And I think we're actually going to be getting either that or the Kessel map on Battlefront 2 this upcoming June, which is going to be cool. Yeah, the battle, I wish that we saw who they were fighting and what was going on a little bit more, because I love the huge, large, all-out war battles between the Empire and just anybody, really. It's quite fun to watch. Let's see. The initial heist of going on the train heist, that kind of failed because Enfys Nest and her crew showed up and they stole the what's it called? Not osmium, but it's coaxium. They stole the coaxium shipment from the train, and that just blew up against the mountain, destroyed a lot of territory. Nobody got a gain from that. I loved how Han and Solo, or goddamn, Han and Chewie met in the beginning of the movie. Chewie was actually caged up on Minbin, and they were kind of making jokes about him, and they had to feed him and stuff. So they thought that Han was deserting, and what they did was they took Han, they threw him in the pit. And then Han actually turned out to know some Wookiee, and so he was able to communicate, and they managed to get away from the Minbin, the cage. And then they get a ride with Beckett and Val off the planet. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so they get off the planet, and that's when they initially go to the coaxium heist. Oh, Kira shows up in the very beginning of the movie. She's part of Han Solo's past, and when Han gets through the checkpoint for the Imperial Officer Academy, she does not, because she gets captured. They didn't have their identification. He lied about that to get in. He actually got his name, Han Solo, from that part of the movie, which, not the best decision to get his name, but it's kind of cool, seeing exactly where he would have got Solo as his secondary name. That was pretty cool. And then Kira, actually, this whole time, she was with Drayden Voss, and she owed him, I'm guessing she was a prostitute at one point, and that's kind of why she fell into debt, and then Drayden Voss took possession of her. And then later on the line, we see Han and the crew go and meet up with Drayden Voss. That was a pretty interesting scene because Kira's there, and Han and Kira reunited even after years, and Han said that he would come back to rescue her on Corellia. Let's see. Yeah, so then Kira and Han try to reconnect, but it doesn't necessarily work out like it's supposed to. Let's see. The Kessel run was pretty cool. They had to actually go find Lando and L3 at a casino. L3 was a very entertaining droid in this movie. She was she had a lot of funny jokes about, they were all like social justice, political jokes about crap, and even though they were trying to push their agenda by putting this character in the movie, it was kind of funny. And it was very stupid how they did it, which is why it was funny. I enjoyed her character a lot. Let's see, and then Han, or again, Leia. God damn it, Lando. I'm so tired. Lando was a good actor, and we see how him and Han initially begin to gamble for the Millennium Falcon. Lando actually cheated first game. Later on down the line, we see how they gamble legit, and Han officially wins the Falcon. But they initially hire Lando for like 20%, whatever, of the cut from the coaxium, and they have to go to Kessel, where there's a mining planet, and they have to free, or they unintentionally free all the prisoners, and there's just a giant riot that takes place. And then they have to try to make the Kessel run in as fast or as quick as they can, and they do that by going right through a maelstrom. That was a pretty awesome scene, and I love that scene a lot. Yeah, that was awesome. And the 12 parsecs thing, a lot of people thought that was time for some reason. No, that's distance, and it's only important because you're not supposed to go through the maelstrom around Kessel, apparently.
A First Order commander has arrived.
Yes, I am very much a Star Wars nerd. You haven't watched 8, 9, and 10? I recommend, yeah, just watch, you need to watch the movies, just get opinions on them. Disney's kind of messing up a good bit with some movies nowadays, but Star Wars has been pretty good. I've enjoyed it. Okay, well, the plot didn't suffer too badly. Oh yeah, Enfys Nest. Enfys Nest, going into the movie, we all thought she was going to be a villain. Based off of the trailers, we see her and Han kind of facing off, getting ready to duel. But this turns into kind of an alliance between them, because they realize that Drayden Voss is actually doing a lot of bad things, and so they decide to align with Enfys Nest, and who wants to provide safety for the people of the galaxy. And she actually starts the rebellion, her and her crew. And we actually see from Rogue One, the character who acts as the intermediary, the weird guy with the 2 breathing oxygen tanks that takes Bodhi to Saw Gerrera on shit, what's the planet's name? On I forget the planet's name, but it's in Rogue One. That's where they meet Chirrut and Baze as well. That planet. I can't remember the exact name for some reason. But yeah, he's there. That was kind of cool nod to that. But the best part of the movie was the very ending cameo, who was by none other than Darth Maul himself. Darth Maul is, as you guys know, he survived. He was in the Clone Wars and the Star Wars Rebels, and we actually see him die in Rebels. It's a very stupid fight scene, but yeah, so he's there, and because he's connected with the crime syndicates. Specifically, he's now the head of Crimson Dawn because of his time in the Clone Wars, especially on Mandalore, getting involved with the Pikes business and everything. And that he does a lot of stuff with the syndicates and the Clone Wars. But that's awesome. And Kira actually works for him. The end was kind of like a wit-off between all the major crew members. It was quite entertaining because they all try to outsmart each other. Han actually shoots first and kills Beckett, and that kind of proves the theory that Han shot first in the Greedo conflict and everything. Let's see. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So Enfys Nest starts the rebellion. Darth Maul comes back in a hologram speaking to Kira, who is working for Crimson Dawn secretly. And at the end, he just says that they're going to punish Han and the crew for falling away from what their promises were and stuff to Crimson Dawn. So that clears, or that makes a large amount of possibility for the next Boba Fett movie, I'm guessing. which we're getting in 2020. I'm pretty sure in 2020. Because at the end of the movie, we see Han leaving to go to Tatooine to meet Jabba the Hutt. So Boba Fett's going to be there, and we're going to have Boba Fett movie. And then we're going to have Maul in that. I'm fairly certain that is going to be a pretty amazing movie. I am very excited to see a Boba Fett movie, and that's going to be very fun to watch. So there were themes of they never trust anyone, assume everyone's going to betray you. That's not the best theme you want to have in a movie, but it makes sense. It explains his backstory. And I know a lot of people are boycotting the movie as well because of just Kathleen Kennedy and Disney's decisions and everything. And I understand that. But the movie itself is not bad. The only thing I'm upset about is this stupid writer's son who decided to say that Lando is pansexual because him and L3 apparently have a relationship, which is absolutely retarded. And in the movie, it seems like they're just joking. No, he says that he's pansexual, so he's a retard, and we should not let him write another Star Wars movie or have any say in anything, because he's going to be looking at children, thinking sexual thoughts about them, and trying to fuck toasters. So, that's what happens when you are a pansexual and you try to say Lando is pansexual. You get your ass arrested. I'm just kidding, but seriously, that's very screwed up, and I do agree with a lot of people who are upset with Disney for this kind of crap. And like all the new female roles and stuff that are becoming so important, and they're just Mary Sue's and stuff like that. But overall, the movie itself, ignoring all that crap, I enjoyed it. Probably gonna rate it a little bit above The Force Awakens and Attack of the Clones. So that's like 7 out of 10. So that's not horrible. I do recommend you guys go see it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see some more movie reviews like this. I will be doing the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom movie soon, so that'll be pretty amazing. That's going to be the best movie this year by far. So I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you guys later.